Okay, good evening, everyone. Thank you very much for joining this webinar. If you are able to hear me, can you please raise your hand, some of you? Okay, great. Thank you, Jaidev. We will start. Let me unmute Kanan. Kanan, do you want to say a few words? Okay, so let me get started. I'll introduce first of all, as many of you know, that our IIBA Chennai chapter has won the President's Award from IIBA President for being the best chapter in Zone 3. And a big thank you to everyone for making this happen. And congratulations, Kanan, for driving this from front. And we are proud to be really having, we are really proud of this honor. So once again, actually look forward to the contribution from everyone to make this a vibrant chapter. And I am so very happy to deliver this webinar to all of you, which is a little bit different webinar than I had delivered in past. This is all about leveraging the new BABOK 3, which can enable the radical business improvement. And this is based on a case study. So I have marked a lot of information in this particular webinar, and I will answer the questions as far as possible without revealing the identity and the confidentiality of our customer. But I'm sure actually we will have a great discussion. So let's get started. And the first thing is actually I would like to present what has changed in the context, what has changed in the macro environment. Which is now driving organizations to look for radical changes in their businesses. So let me just present the technology evolutions that have happened, which is leading to the demand for radical improvement. So if you see, actually we started with phones, and then emails came, and then web came, and now actually people are looking for platforms for web application development or mobile application development. And those applications are driving the business changes. We also saw that there was a time when traditional publishing was very popular, and that was probably the only media that is available. And then social publishing happened, and then Web 2.0, where there was a lot of there was some degree of interaction happened, and now there are platforms for complete full interaction, like social media and Facebook and all those kind of things. Similarly, our IT actually started with on-site IT infrastructure within the company infrastructure, then hosted applications came, and then SOA and SaaS has came, and then finally the cloud computing. Also, the way we used to work with the information, it was the EDI, information sharing, which got then translated into business intelligence and then digital access. And now it is all real-time intelligence that the businesses are looking for. Then with some times back, there was a dot-com burst, which then, followed by the growth and then recession. And now after the recession, we are seeing actually a new competition that is emerging. And this new competition is based on the new business context, which is basically the organizations are now looking for leveraging the technology and innovating on those technology advances, creating those operating efficiencies which will make the businesses successful, enter the new markets and enter quickly, increase customer loyalty, and gain the ground against competition. So competition is actually cutthroat. Competition is, really tremendous amount of competition in all the industries that you know. That drives that radical change, the way organizations think, the way organizations work, the way they develop the new product or leverage on the old product. So everything is happening for that, and that is the context. What is driving this? What is enabling this transition to happen? This is the technology which is enabling social mobility, analytics, and cloud SMAC. So that enables actually the social is basically everyone is on all the time. Everyone is on. Everything is digital. The self-service by the customers, the partner, by supplier, by employee, they used to do self-service. They should be able to do self-service using all this technology. As far as mobility is concerned, the theme is it is anywhere, any segment, anytime, and the transition is having applications which are more interactive. So gone those days where people used to provide the inputs and then wait for the system to respond and then take the further action. It has to be interactive. It has to be real time. You don't have to provide many inputs. The system should be able to get those inputs, use those, get the input once and use them all the time, right? And it is for everyone, be it your customer, partner, suppliers, employees, anyone, right? So mobility, is the key for the transformation that is happening. The another thing is about the analytics. It is all about real-time analytics tied to execution decision. The information need to be available in real time, and the managers should be able to use that information for making the decisions real time. And it is cross-enterprise analytics. So it is cutting across various divisions. Those silos are demolished. Customer experience optimization. The customer experience is critical for all the transformations that are happening. The process optimization based on analytics. So it is analytics based process optimization, and cloud playing an important role in the business models that are coming. Cloud is also enabling the collaboration. IT infrastructure is available on demand, which is actually changing the business models, monetizing differentiated services, transforming the business operations. So these technologies, these enabling technologies are driving and enabling the transformation. And ultimately, as I said before, it is all about business focused transformation, which is leveraging technology to become more agile, enable that innovation, create more operating efficiencies, enter new markets and enter quickly, increase customer loyalty, gain ground against competition. All that is happening. And this new age transformation is all about the use of digital technology, which is your SMAC, embedded devices, to enable radical business improvement, which means enhancing customer experience, streamlining operations, creating new business models. And it typically goes beyond that intra-organization challenges. It goes inter-organization and interdependent system to deliver these transformation. So that's the change that we have seen in the macro environment. And this case study is all about that. So we got an opportunity to work with an organization, and we used some of these things effectively. And this case study is all about that. How did I leverage how did Vellicate leveraged all these advances and helped our customer transform their business. So this case study is about a BFSI product company, and their strategy was to leverage the technology advancement to deliver the same or the new products and deliver them well. They had three kind of customer segments, and therefore they wanted to have the differentiated offerings for those customer segments. There were customer segments which were high touch customers. These customers actually had unique needs, and those needs need to be fulfilled. So there were high touch customers. There were low touch customers. Low touch customers are those actually who will use the services, but little bit of customization of those services, little bit of packaging of those services. And there were also the customers who are no touch customers. They call no touch customers are those people who will take their standard products and services. There is no customization that is needed. Okay, so these are the three segments of the customers that this organization had. And basically they are on the new delivery of services on mobile platform. This is a new mechanism of delivering these old or the new services on the mobile platform. That was the theme, and that is because to enable the customers use this whenever they want. Customer engagement was key. So need to know what are the customers present and perceived future needs, how they are using it, what are the things that they are liking, what are the things that customers not liking, but taking that information real time, and then you factoring that in all the efforts that the organization was doing, whether to selling, marketing, operations, or delighting their customers. Integrated business applications. So they wanted to have everything integrated end to end. It is all the delivery of the businesses, and the business intelligence to support the operational decisions. So it has to be the real time decision based on the business intelligence. So how did Vellicate approach this particular problem or this particular opportunity, right? So what we did is actually we leveraged on these four principles. Number one, design the customer experience outside in, right? Which means understand what do the customers do, why do they do this, from where do they do that, how do they do it today, right? And how do you want them to be able to do tomorrow, where and how the customer experience can be enhanced. So that was the first principle actually, that design that new customer experience. That is one of the radical, one of the analysis area for delivering those radical services. The second one is increase the reach and engagement. Can you reach to more customers, and how do you engage them? Invest in those digital channels to reach out to the customers. Provide user-friendly apps, social media experience, which is always on. So provide that experience when people need it, need some services or products. There are user-friendly apps, and they are available just on a single touch. Social media experience always on. Also, the third aspect was putting the data at the center of decision making. The data is the primary key for making that particular decision, and therefore this required real-time data collection and analysis, real-time analysis, which is tied to operations decision. Also, this is enabled through Internet of Things, actually Internet of everything, which is the databases, which is the processes, the interacting systems and interacting applications, interacting devices. So all that was again at the center for the decision making. And finally, it is integrate the physical and digital experience. So also realize that this digital transformation is not about replacing the old by new. It is all about using the digital technology to enhance the customer experience. It was not actually creating new products for them. The strategy and this work also involved how can we use the technology and deliver the old products and old services in a better way. So it was both some new products and as well as the old product. And we used actually this continuum from BABOK 3 for this actually, where there was a strategy analysis which starts from need and solution scope, goes to the requirements analysis and design definition, which is requirement and design put together. You have the solution evaluation, which is proof of concept, prototype evaluation, pilot, beta, operating in the actual thing, right? So entire BA value spectrum, which is used in all this. And this is the offering. So this slide actually, I would like to make full disclosure that this is the Vellicate's offering. So this is not related to BABOK 3, but this actually leverages on BABOK 3 very heavily. So, as part of our offerings, we first had the assessment of the capabilities, assessment of the complexity of the projects that the organizations do today, assessment of the future project complexities that the organization will be doing. So doing that assessment of the current capabilities to deal with these challenges, and what is the future capabilities that are needed to really successfully deliver the transformation in this. So we started with assessment, and we started with the development centers actually, to define some of those digital capabilities. Because digital capabilities is on the two dimensions. One is the leadership capabilities, the other one is technical and managerial capabilities, right? So we divided that into two, and it was all about assessment and making development centers for them. And then actually the second thing, once we have done that, actually we understood where we are, and therefore we knew what can be delivered, what cannot be delivered. So then we had something called creating the digital vision. How do you systematically create that vision for your organization, digital vision, which is basically a framework of five major steps. One is understand, first of all, what is your strategy. What is the digital strategy that the organization has today. Where do you want to be, where you are today, right? So what is the strategy to move from where you are to the future state? How does it impact your organization? What are the skills that are needed? So making a comprehensive plan for for crafting your digital vision. And the second one, then the structure at the enterprise level. Actually, how do you deliver the digital transformation? So what are those, what is the framework, and what are those enabling channels that you need to have to deliver the digital transformation for the organization? So working on that structure, and then actually doing a thorough stakeholder analysis, dividing those stakeholders in fewer groups, and having the strategies for creating that experience for these user groups. So that is the people part of it. And the third one is the processes. How these groups of stakeholders, what processes that they will use. What are the processes that we need for them? What is the platform that we need to create? What is the information need that these people have, and how do we service that information need? And the fifth one is the technology. What is the technology that we are going to use to deliver all these products and services? So that was the first offering that we used, creating the digital vision for them, right? And the second one is all about business processes for this digital transformation. So what are those business processes that are needed, right? And for that, we again had a 5-step process. First one is customer alignment. Align these processes with the customers so that customers can use them then quite well. Optimize the processes. So as I was saying, that it is not about actually replacing the old by the new. Customers need to be using the old product and services, and how do you optimize those processes to seamlessly deliver this digital experience to your customers, right? And then process innovation. What innovations need to be done on the processes to make it more user friendly. You create that customer, the wow factor with the customers. And then process performance management. Ultimately, the performance need to be delivered, and how do you manage that performance, which is the integration of all the processes and ensuring that optimizing the performance that the processes deliver. And finally, then we need to have the digital integration. How these processes, which are newly designed processes, be integrated with the digital technology. So we did a lot of we did that analysis, and we delivered that process transformation of the digital vision for the customer. And in our opinion, process actually forms the key aspect of transforming the business, right? So this was an extremely important part. The next one is the business intelligence requirements analysis. It is all about actually enabling your analytics. It is all about actually putting that big data and analytics together. It is all about defining your data needs. It is all about tying that data analytics to the operational decision making. So which required actually the data mining. So defining what is the data need, capturing those source of data, validating that the particular data, so strategies for that, strategy for data collection, strategy for intelligence, need for the decision makings, and how do we collect that information. So a lot of data mining stuff. Interactive reporting, because as I was saying, the data is all about actually the data need to be tied to the decision making, and therefore the reporting has to be very interactive. So it is interactive reporting and timely decision making as the work goes on, actually the decision has to be made in the real time. So decision making based on the data, and ultimately how the business processes support this data collection and data analysis and data reporting, which goes to the previous part, which is the businesses for the digital transformation. So the digital context, the process context also comes over here. The third important part was, doing the requirements for IoT. So IoT is an important part. These are the interactive systems. So how do you do that analysis in this integrated environment? And the services that were used, the consulting, coaching, mentoring, capability development in all these things actually. So these were the Vellicate offerings that were used for delivering this radical change in the organization. And also the BA maturity model was very handy, because, and especially when we were assessing and we were preparing a plan for developing the enhancing the BA capabilities. So we used this maturity model where, some of you who have attended my previous session, this 4-step maturity model, and we use this as a framework, where the first model is basically where the projects are either maintenance project, or the first step is either the project are maintenance projects, or they are small complexity projects, and your focus is actually enhance the operation. So therefore, the BA focus is how the operations can be enhanced, how the business operations can be made better. And here, the skills that you need are like, use case modeling and process modeling and better requirement documentation and all those kind of things. And so that is the level 1. Level 2 was the project focus. So how do we ensure that the business objectives are met through the projects that are getting executed in the organization? So project meeting that business need. And in this case, actually, you typically have the BAs who will focus on the business side of it, that they understand the business requirements very well, requirements elicited, documented, communicated, managed very well. And you have IT focused people actually who ensure that the requirements are correctly designed, implemented, managed throughout the solution, right? So that is the project focus, ensure that the project is successful. And the third one is business strategy focus. And enterprise focused. We need to ensure that the strategy is executed. So the strategy is translated into a portfolio of projects. Those portfolio projects are prioritized. These portfolio of projects are funded, and these portfolios of projects are managed to deliver the new strategy, to meet that new strategy. So that was the level 3, where you require the BA skills to really do this. They understand this enterprise architecture, enterprise analysis, and they are able to actually do the work which helps the organization execute the current business strategy. And the fourth one is, using that technology advances, using the technology as a platform, and deliver the new business strategy, forge the new innovative business strategy. And your focus is competition. How can you actually innovate and leverage this technology to come up with new products and services and new strategy to make your organization successful? So these are the 4 stages of the BA maturity. And as you go from left to right, you will have more robust capabilities and influence of the BA. And in our digital transformation, this is the maturity that was needed. The maturity was needed at level 4, because it was all about innovative business strategy, which will give the competitive advantage to the organization, right? So that was it. The assessment part included 2 things actually. As I was saying, leadership and engineering competencies, assessment of as-is competencies at various levels, assessment of the complexities of the project for future and current projects on various dimensions, assessment of the capabilities that are needed in future to manage this complexity and deliver the project successfully, deliver the transformation successfully in this complex environment. And gap analysis was on the BA skills as well as the PM skills. So this was the context, this was the project that was being done. And now I would like to actually share with you how IIBA BABOK 3 actually can be leveraged to deliver all this that we delivered. The BABOK as such, will not be able to deliver, but we need to take the framework of it, and we need to develop our own offerings to really enable organization to successfully deliver that outcome. But it can be leveraged actually. You can take from there and leverage. So BABOK 3, the main theme is controlled transformation of an organization. And that's what we did. That's what I explained just now. Actually, it is all about controlled transformation of an organization. And this is the new definition of business analysis as per the BABOK 3. Business analysis is the practice of enabling change in an enterprise by defining needs and recommending solutions that deliver value to the stakeholders. Business analysis enable an enterprise to articulate the needs and the rationale for change, and to design and describe solutions that can deliver value. And what I just now explained is completely reflect this definition in my mind, right? So BABOK 3 actually is completely aligned with the work, with the opportunity that I described, and how this can be delivered. BACCM, business analysis core concept model, is a great way to start. It is all about the changes that are happening in the environment. These are the changes like the technological advancement that are happening, and they have a context to the business. There are stakeholders in the business, and they have some need, and that need to be fulfilled through a solution that will create a value to everyone in the organization. And that theme is a great theme to really work on, right? And that was one of the guiding principles that we used throughout. And the other thing is our changed structure of the business analysis, right? So you had enterprise analysis, which became strategy analysis, and which is a great thing actually, because this was all about analyzing that strategy. Other than an enterprise was one part of it, but analyzing the strategy. Also, the requirement analysis became requirement analysis and design definition, because in many of these things, especially in the process side, actually the requirements that we were getting for the process, actually they were the process design requirement. This was another very important thing that actually completely aligns with the work that we have done. Solution assessment and validation became solution evaluation, right? So we need to evaluate which solution will meet the requirements much better. So it was all those kind of things. And elicitation became elicitation and collaboration. And it was really truly a collaborative approach, because there are so many stakeholders in this, and it is not actually eliciting the requirement. Actually, your typical elicitation in this environment will fail, because you don't have the stakeholders who can give you the requirements. It is all about collaborating with the stakeholders, then eliciting the requirement, because it is a truly innovative product. So the typical elicitation techniques don't work. You need to have more innovative ways of eliciting those requirements, right? So great, really, it gave that fresh feel when we look at this particular framework. And there are other things that were thoroughly leveraged. Those was the perspective. And IIBA has come up with those 5 perspectives: agile, business intelligence, information technology, business architecture, business process management, and all 5 perspectives were used in this particular project. Also, the technique that was of great help, and there were many techniques actually that we used. However, the most important one was the one that I'm so sorry, just give me a second. Okay, so there was something, I'm so sorry about it. So we used that balanced scorecard, and this is a new technique that got added to BABOK. And this was really a great help, because this actually helps aligning this entire vision and strategy with the CIOs, right? So this is a great technique, and we use this technique. Now, how did we use all this and deliver the radical improvements, right? What are those components of BABOK that are used for delivering this radical improvement? So my next session actually will focus on that. So first one was actually crafting the digital vision, which is all about understanding and creating digital vision, and we did that through these 5 steps as I had described. So it is all about crafting that strategy, doing that strategy analysis, doing the structural analysis of the enterprise, right? So we used the strategy analysis from BABOK. We used the business architecture, from BABOK. That was the perspective, business architecture perspective, right? People part actually, which is a stakeholder analysis, has to be done, differently, and processes. So we again leveraged on BPM perspective, right? So 3 perspective are very heavily used over there, over here, than other things. Also, then the engineering business processes for digital transformation. The processes, as I was saying, they're heart of the digital transformation. Transforming those processes for your digital vision was the key, right? And we again had those 5-step processes, and we used the business architecture and BPM for transforming these processes. Okay. So that's what another thing. And the third one was the business intelligence requirements analysis, where we used the perspective of business intelligence, the information technology, where the requirements for the data are integrated with the operations, and this they are used in real time. So the information technology, how it is used for creating those requirements, and then implementing those requirements in the solution. And again, business process management that are used for all these things, actually data mining, interactive reporting, decision making, and support of the business processes. So again, a lot of perspectives. And the IoT, completely leveraged on the information technology, and to see that you discover, analyze, define the requirements for interacting systems, and various components in the organization. So it is taking that 35,000 feet view, and also actually going deeper into it and looking at the ground, what is happening. So it's this required that looking at the forest and looking at the tree. So again, leveraged the information technology, the perspective of BABOK 3, and did this. Now, when it came for executing of the projects, right? So project execution. This is a complex project, and complex projects. This will be, this need to be executed with a lot of successive iterations, and our recommendation was to use agile. Use co-located teams, because there is a lot of requirements for collaboration. So therefore this need to be done in co-located teams, and then business analysis in agile environment. So again, used the agile perspective, and a lot more strengths, on the agile way of working as a business analyst, right? So that was the project approach, and that's what I wanted to share with you. And I will open this for the questions that you might have, and I will be very happy to discuss. I'm sure actually you will love that discussion. So let me open my pen and see actually what type of questions do you have. You can type those questions. I'll take those questions, and I will answer as many questions as I can. Okay. Okay, so I have the first question over here, and let me take this question. Okay, so this question is, How is CCBA and CWAP certification different from IIBA's global gold standard certification, which is going to be rolled out in the future? Valiyappan, this is not related to this presentation. However, I will still answer actually. IIBA has announced that they will have now four level of certifications, and so CCBA and CBAP will remain the same. IIBA is going to launch another certification which will be below CCBA, probably will not need any experience. So those BA friends of mine who are looking for a certification but they don't have desired experience, they will be able to write that certification exam and earn that certification. IIBA is also going to come up with another certificate which they will announce later, which will be on the top of CBAP. And this certification will be for the highly experienced practitioners. This will require double the experience that CBAP requires, and they need to be contributors, they need to be practitioners to the business analysis world. So, that is the certification that will come. The current CBAP and CCBL remain the same, and they are really the gold standard certificate as I have described. Actually, it is great stuff that you can leverage. So in case actually anyone who is planning the CBAP and CCBA, my advice will be just go with this, you know. Then Jayanti says, sir, please explain about Agile. I don't know actually what to explain about the Agile. This is basically the software development which is done iteratively. So you have the product backlog and you have the sprints and you develop a partial functionality using those sprints. And here you really work on the requirements, for every sprint repeatedly. So I don't know what your question was. What is the big difference between BABOK 2 and BABOK 3? Manikandan, there are a few differences, and let me tell you those things actually. So as I have explained, some of the knowledge areas, they have been renamed, and the new knowledge areas actually reflect that new name actually in which is there in the theme. For example, the strategy analysis. Earlier, it was enterprise analysis, right? So it really reflects that strategic part in this. So otherwise, things have not changed, but it does reflect that part. And as a result of that, actually, there are new techniques that got added. Some tasks underwent a change. So there is some change. So this is one change that has happened. Some of the knowledge areas have got changed. The second thing is actually that BACCM, the core concept model. And that's a good piece actually, which gives the context for doing the work and why we are doing the work. So BACCM is a great addition that has come in BABOK 3. The third thing is the perspective. And as you have seen in this presentation, actually these perspective, they are leveraged in different things. So you will see actually what the BA is working on, the business process improvement, for example. Then the approach is one. If the BA is working on agile projects, for example, the BA need to be working differently. Same thing is on the business intelligence and IT projects. So there are these perspectives that are helpful in different scenarios. Yeah. So those are three main changes in BABOK 3, and there are some new techniques that have come. For example, I have just explained one of them, which is balance scorecard. So there are new techniques that have come. It is a good piece actually, Manikandan. If you get a chance, please read that. Bhamani is asking, BA in Agile, perform BA activities at each sprint level or story level. Actually, the BA need to be performed at all levels in Agile. So you need to start at epic. You need to start actually pre-epic level. Need to come at those sprints and detail those requirements. Need to really prioritize the product backlog. Develop the sprints. So those stories that go in there. So all sort of work actually, and in agile teams, the BA role is not defined that well, right? It is not defined at all. So it is not a role actually, it is the mindset and it is a goal that you need to have in mind, and therefore the BAs need to be more seasoned over there. So a lot of things on the agile side actually, and it is a different thing. Jayanti says, to add the question, please tell about CPRE certification. Jayanti, I will appreciate if you can write a mail to me and you see my email address on the screen. I will be very happy to write to you about CPRE. But that is really off the track as far as this presentation is concerned. So please excuse me, allow me to stay focused on these questions, and I'll come back to you actually on one-on-one. I'm currently planning to take up a certification. Did you recommend to go for V3? No, Manikandan, I will very strongly recommend that you go with V2. V3 is still far away. V3, the IIBA will change to the certification in September 2016, so it is really far. And as far as the business analysis is concerned, business analysis is business analysis, right? So there is no point for you to wait for BABOK V3. You can take the exam based on V2, and your certificate will remain valid actually. So there is no change. You don't have to rewrite any exam. It will remain valid. How is business analysis at enterprise level could impact the business opportunities? Actually, business opportunities or business need, business problem or opportunities, they are the starting point, and your business analysis at enterprise level is done for that business opportunity. So business opportunity and the business need is an input for which a business analyst will work and do the business analysis at enterprise level, will also do the business analysis for the solution, will also do the business analysis for the change management, enabling that change in the organization, right? So that's the perspective. Valiappan, if I have not answered your question fully, please ping once again. Okay, let me see. Any other question? I don't see any new question. So I'll wait for a few minutes, and if the questions are not there, then we can. Okay, great. I think yeah. So there is a few more questions. So let me take. The business change management is one of the key challenges we face in any of our change project. So do V3 talks about that? Yeah, it is the controlled transformation of the businesses. Yeah, so BABOK talks about that, but BABOK is not a how-to standard, right? It provides you generally accepted practices, and you need to translate that into what works for your organization, like I did. Now, what I have explained, it is not just the reproduction of BABOK. It is not actually, I will say BABOK is leveraged to the tune of 30%, but the 30% is great base actually. On that, you can build that 70% and do that. So same thing happens in the change management. There are many aspects of change management that have been described in P3, and you can build on that actually. So change management certainly actually can also be leveraged on BABOK. The definition of BA in BABOK is so broad that we cannot differentiate between a BA and a consultant. How would you differentiate between the two roles as the firm BA is used more in IT industry? Ajay, I will simply answer that actually. BA is a super consultant. BA is a very successful consultant. Okay, so there is no difference in BA and consultant. Consider yourself actually, you are if you are a good BA, you are a good consultant. You require the same skills. Actually, this framework is a fantastic framework for consultants. Venkatesh is asking actually, please relate the case study to BABOK 2 as well. Yeah, so Venkatesh, as I was saying, that this business analysis is business analysis. So there are a lot of things which are also in BABOK 2. Very many things, but there are certain things actually which gives a little bit of twist and little bit of more light in BABOK 3, like the perspective that have been leveraged, right? So perspective is a great example, and you also have certain other themes and techniques that are leveraged. Otherwise, BABOK 2, is a great book as well, actually. So Venkatesh, both of them, business analysis is generally accepted practices, and BABOK 3 has been built on BABOK 2. It is reflecting what has changed in the environment, and so BABOK 2 is a base. Actually, BABOK 3 is not completely rewritten book. Okay, Rajkumar, the way you have described, can I interpolate that business analytics skill is needed in many levels in an organization, project execution, but it doesn't mean we need to have business analysis need to do all these tasks. In my observation, correct? Yeah, that's right. Actually, Rajkumar, if you see these kind of complex things, no one individual can really deliver the transformation that the organizations are looking today. It is a collaborative work, and therefore you will have people who are experts in business analytics. You will have actually great process engineers, the process designers who can transform your processes. You will have those people who are experts in the technology and can define the IoT for you, actually. So it is a collaborative effort, actually. And everything is needed. And as we say, digital technology leverages the business analytics a lot, actually, because this is all the real-time information which is tied to operations. So it is needed, actually. So Rajkumar, that's what it is. Manikandan has a question. Do market is seriously demanding for certified professionals, and that too from globally renowned endorsed education partners? Well, we are seeing that the relevance of business analysis is growing, and the certification actually brings you credibility. A certification also helps you, because when you go for certification, you read everything very clearly, and therefore your knowledge is much better than those people who are not certified people. Because if you attend the training without the certification objectives, you will probably not read everything so carefully, right? So therefore, this is very, very important. We have seen those people who take the certification, those people have much better knowledge than the other people who have not taken the certification. So that's why, that is the reason those organizations who value the business analysis, they also understand the certified people, and therefore the demand for certified people is growing, actually, as we talk. Okay, so great. Thank you very much for your participation once again, and thanks a lot for providing this opportunity to me for really interacting with you. As always, I really enjoy this engagement. Kanan, a special thanks to you, and congratulations once again to you and entire leadership team of IIBA Chennai chapter for this fantastic honor of being the best chapter, winning this President's Award. Thank you very much. Look forward to the next session, and enjoy your evening. Thank you so much once again.